Welcome into another edition of Ozarks Gambling Gurus.
Hey, guys.
So 9, 10, maybe?
9 or 10, I think.
I think this is 9, yeah.
9.
9,
Look at
yes.
us.
We had 10 next week, and I think we ought to celebrate. I don't know what we do, but we celebrate something.
So far, I don't think we've had any federal investigations into any of our broadcasts either.
No, that is a plus, yes, and we'll talk about some of those things going on. But thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and if you're watching it on the archive, we appreciate that. Big sports night tonight. We're tracking the Missouri State-Florida International University football game, the Wednesday night specials on Conference USA. The Bears are tied 14-all with about 12 minutes left in the second half. I'm sorry, in the third quarter. It's a very chilly night here tonight, probably what feels like 40 degrees, I think, temperature.
The north wind is blowing. Yeah, getting colder.
And I tell you, looking at the screen, though, they've got a pretty good crowd for all things considered. I think that, a lot of people would have looked at it and said, we're not going, but here's a Bears team that's got a chance to get their 5th win tonight, and a lot of people have them pegged for maybe 2 or 3 wins on the season. So a good job.
The outside air feels like 37 degrees right now.
37, yeah.
If you win, they will come. That's what the Raiders need to keep that in mind.
I saw that in a movie one time, too. Yeah, I think they said that in a movie.
Something like that. Build it, win it. I don't know.
Yeah, and if you're a casino, even if they lose, they come.
Exactly. They come back.
They just don't learn.
The World Series in top of the 7th. Toronto leading 3-1. Dodger bats not getting it going in Game 5 here.
Go Canada.
Huh?
I said go Canada. Nobody wants the Dodgers to win.
I'm torn on that because it would be easy to treat the Dodgers like the Yankees and other big money teams, but I really like Freddie Freeman and I really like Ohtani. I mean, Ohtani just plays the game with kind of a youthful exuberance, I guess. Nothing phases him. He's always smiling. He gets hit by a pitch, he'll just kind of joke about it and go to the base, and they are the best team money can buy until it actually maybe comes down to the World Series in 7 games or 6 in that case.
I root for the underdog.
Yeah.
Is World Series viewership as high as it has been, or is it higher or lower?
I don't know. I've not seen numbers on it. I would think anytime you get the Dodgers involved, it probably goes up a little bit because, people want to see Ohtani. I mean, it was at the last game of the NLCS that he had the 3 homers and pitched 6 shutout innings. It was, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, you could make the argument that that's the greatest single game performance in baseball
of all time. Yeah.
I don't know who else could pull that off on both ends of it like that. But
it is the same way when Murphy played football at Ozarks. Our gate revenues always went up.
Yeah,
always way up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All the ladies that came to watch him, right? And
if they had NIL money back in the 80s, I wouldn't even be doing this podcast.
Hoping for an autograph, a picture, or
I'd maybe still be living off my NILs.
A little something after the game with Murphin as he went through the options to pick the winner for the night, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So we're going to talk the usual, some casino stories. We've got a gambling probe in the NBA. That's you guys, Murph, I know you followed it pretty closely, and then some other topics. We're going to try to keep it short tonight with everything going on live on TV. Murph, in terms of any casino stories, you and Dan, you had some friends hit it big, right?
Yeah, I had a friend. I think Murphin had one too, but I'll tell mine first. Buddy went to Indigo Sky last Saturday and hit a $4,800 jackpot, and he didn't want his name mentioned because I'm not sure he told his wife all of this story. And on his way back, he got to the I-44 turn to go to Springfield, and his car immediately turned left and went 4 more miles down to downstream, and he hit a $12,000 jackpot down there.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Does his name rhyme with Storm?
No, not even close.
Okay.
Have you ever had that happen?
Hey,
Dan, have you had that happen twice in one night at different casinos?
I don't think I have. I don't think. Yeah.
I wouldn't, if I'm hitting a jackpot at one casino, I'm probably not leaving. I was there Saturday night at Indigo and it sucked. But
Now, is that the night your
Friday
buddy
night,
hit the?
my buddy Tyler had a couple of, we went to the Arkansas game the next morning, but Tyler and I met at Indigo the night before and he hit a Dragon Link for 7,000. So it's a good night down there.
Yeah. Now, the bad thing about Indigo is they won't, even if you want them to, they won't take out any taxes.
Really?
I hope I can find that out soon.
Yeah. Murph, you said one of our past guests had a good weekend, Grant Givens.
Grant Givens, I saw where he finished 11th or 12th in the Run Good Main down at Tulsa, the $800 buy-in. I think he bagged about 3,000 or 4,000 for that. So good for him.
Yeah. And then anything coming up at the casinos, big tournaments or anything like that? Or are we in a kind of a dead zone?
Kind of a lull right now. There might be stuff coming up in Choctaw down in Durant, but that's a good drive. I'll have to look into that, but nothing big around the 100-mile radius that I know of.
Have either one of you been to WinStar down in Thackerville?
I have not.
Just driven by it.
It's billed as the world's largest casino. I've actually stopped in it, played some slots briefly, kind of on the way back from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I just wonder what people, their experience has been from a gambling standpoint there.
There's quite a few people that do YouTube videos playing slot machines there that, at least on the videos, they seem to be doing pretty good.
Really? Have you seen these or?
Yeah.
Follow him on Facebook. I met the guy at he was at Downstream one night.
Really?
I'm sure there's a ton, but I think it's the same one that you and I both.
I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah.
What was that? Was that illegal at any point? I mean, to take pictures of your.
Oh yeah, it used to be a big deal.
When did that change and why?
Until probably just the social media growing like it is, they found out that would help them more than hurt them. But only until recently. I mean, probably up to 3 or 4 years ago, taking a picture of your buddies at the table's a no-no, and you can still get in trouble for that. I think they have to get an okay from each casino to video live in it. But it's still kind of
it used to be even like you'd hit a jackpot and you'd want to take a picture of it. And if they kind of knew you, they say, hey, go ahead and hurry up. We're not supposed to let you do that. But then all of a sudden it just kind of stopped and they didn't seem to care. But I think like Randy said, it's usually those people that show live streams or show their gambling night more often than not only show good stuff, or they show more good stuff than bad stuff. So it actually ends up being a good showing for the casino.
It's good promotion for them, right? They finally figured that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I remember one time I won something. It wasn't much because you guys know how I play slots. And I took a picture and I can't remember who it was, said, hey, don't let them see you doing that. And I'm like, why? I would think they would want me promoting that I won at their place so other people would think they could come down and do the same. So, but have you been to Choctaw, Murph?
I've been to Choctaw and Durant. There's the World Series circuit comes there. I think they have 2 stops a year, and they have a great auditorium, banquet room, whatever you will, plenty of room. It's a big tournament. It's fun, but it's been a couple of years. So,
and that's more of a resort type casino, isn't it? I mean, hotel, pool, everything.
I think they've added another tower, and I've usually gone. Usually the 1st of January is when I would go, and the pool is never open. But there's also people say the pool's amazing at Choctaw.
Well, what's not amazing right now is the NBA's reputation with gambling. Kind of a 2-pronged.
I think we just lost everybody. Is everybody back?
No, we're back. Yeah, we were losing you. I think your internet was wigging out a little bit or something. The NBA 2-pronged gambling probe, part of it prop betting by players that were leaking information about themselves or other players. It was basically inside information. Like one guy was when he was going to leave a game, right? Am I correct, Murph? You followed this more than I have. And then, of course, the poker scandal. Kind of tell us what you know about both.
I think Randy may be frozen up there.
Yeah,
I think that, a couple of things. rigged it so that a guy might say, "Hey, I'm going out of the game early tonight with an injury," and so a lot of his buddies or people that they knew would put down bets on the under on the prop bets, and then lo and behold, at the start of the third quarter or somewhere in the third quarter, he'd go out with a supposed injury, and all those bets would pay off. And I guess they have a pretty sophisticated way now. They monitor all the online betting platforms, and they pick up on whether there are bets coming in that are a little more unusual than others.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, I think, how they caught him.
And that's still ongoing. I think there's probably a lot of guys that are having kind of oh crap moments, hoping they don't get pulled into it too. And a lot of it was the other half of that was, and Murph, looks like I've got Murph back. Murph, why don't you add internet from 2025 there at your place? Okay,
it just locked up, couldn't hear a thing.
Yeah, we were talking about the prop betting and the guys that were leaking inside info as to how themselves they were going to leave a game and hit the under on a prop. But then the other half was these illegal poker games. And Murph, that's kind of your area.
Right.
Tell us give us the breakdown on what was illegal and what was going on.
Well, I read there was a poker pro that actually busted that went to the feds, is what I read. That I guess they played in Hollywood, maybe New York. They had a few locations, and the table. I don't know. I'd heard that they had maybe manipulated the shuffling machine, but the big thing was the X-ray table, to where the cards, there was a camera and an X-ray where you could see the cards under the table, and that information was getting leaked back to somebody with headphones on playing in the game. And so I think the big deal was the NBA guys would recruit other NBA guys, big money guys, to this game and cheat them out of the money. And so, but like I'm sure you guys talked about it, the big salary. I mean, how much does who was the coach that got the
Chauncey Billups?
Chauncey Billups. I mean, what's he make a year? I mean, what were these guys getting paid? The guy that took the dive on his under, what do you get paid? $200,000? Why would you risk that contract for $200,000? So I think it may probably, unfortunately, might have opened a big can of worms, which I think it's just the tip of the iceberg maybe for that. So unfortunately.
We were going back and forth in text on how this might affect the states and online gambling. I don't know that the one thing I could see is prop bets might be something that gets them more seriously, because that's something an individual can control, what
Correct.
they do. But the poker side of it, unrelated, I was just amazed to know that there's that level of technology with X-ray tables and things like. Did you know those existed?
It's the first I've heard of an X-ray table. I've heard of mark cards. I know a lot, like in the big tournaments, like when you watch the World Series on TV, they have RFD cards. They have a computer chip in the deck of cards. That's why the people commentating on it on a 30-minute delay can see what the players have, and it's only isolated to them. But you would think, I mean, if they can see it, who knows how someone could manipulate that and see whole cards. But that's why they don't allow headphones when you're at the final payouts of the table. You're not allowed to be on, no phones, no headphones, no outside communication. But that's the only cheating that I had ever heard of before the X-ray table, which is a little crazy.
And we know that there's all kinds of local games in our area and everywhere. I guess is the moral of the story, know who you're playing with for the most part, or
know who you're playing with. And then again, I mean, is somebody going to go to that much trouble? Like a lot of people at Indigo, for instance, they won't let us have our phones on the rail, which is a really stupid rule, I think. I mean, phones are allowed on the rail at like if I'm out of a hand, I can quickly pick up my phone, do whatever, So I don't know. It's I hope
what do they think you're going to do with it?
Yeah, it's like it's a 1-2 game. I mean, you can buy in for $300. Are you really going to go to that much trouble to have a guy working with you at the table to tell you what his whole cards are? Or it's just way too much work for the amount of money in that game. Now, a big game, a big home game, just know who you're playing with, I guess.
Well, and the Mafia was involved in this too, right? On the poker side?
Right. Yeah, New York, people out of New York, I think, which I think one of them was a poker player. I mean, everybody plays poker anymore. So, I mean, they just came up with a good scam to go get some big target NBA guys, I guess, and movie stars.
Do you guys think, your honest opinion, during a professional season, do you think these are isolated things, or is it more widespread than we would like to believe?
I would say it's more widespread, unfortunately.
And I would probably counter that with, I think it's isolated incidents, just because the majority of these guys are smart enough not to, like Murphin said earlier, not to risk what they have going. I mean, if they're making $42 million a year, which isn't uncommon in the NBA, why would you even go there for something that's much, much less at stake than that, except your own career?
It's another thing. The NFL has so much money, they can invest all sorts. I think NBA, I think the Silver, who's the commissioner? Silver, what's his name? Whoever I mean, I think they dropped the ball. I think they need to be more on top of it. So I think maybe NBA has a lot to blame in this.
Adam Silver, yeah.
Adam Silver, yeah.
Missouri State goes up 21-14 with a touchdown over Florida. What was the line on this, and what was the over/under? Do you know?
3.5, and I don't remember. Was it 48? I don't know the over/under, but I believe the spread was 3.5.
It would have been screaming under with
the weather,
the conditions. Yeah, the wind blowing like it is, and it doesn't seem to be affecting either group. And there's actually still students at the game, which is
good,
unusual.
Yeah. Ironically, a text popped up from some friends of mine and says, "I can't believe this game might actually hit the over." So, yeah, imagine
there
that.
You go.
People are talking about it out ahead. I will throw this in before I forget. So, we mentioned, I think, last time, but they have turned 102.1 FM into an all sports channel in Springfield. Used to be Q102, the rock station. That moved to 92 something, 92.9 maybe.
Right.
And now 102.1 is called the One, WON, play on words. But it's a largely gambling channel in terms of their usual content. And it's the Visa Network, Vegas Insider Sports Network, that Brent Musburger started back in around 2017 or 18. But for those gamblers out there, it's got some really interesting shows on pretty much all day, until Jim Rome comes on, I think at 2:00. I'm not a big Rome fan, but I didn't even know he still had a show, to be honest with you. But then in the evenings, it'll have blues hockey or more Vegas programming. We're starting a morning show next Monday, myself, Ned Reynolds, and Art Haynes, from 7 to 9 to talk local sports. So, but for those gamblers out there, and being a fantasy football player and not very good this year, apparently, from noon to 1, they've got a show called Prop Points, and it's John Hansen, who was the guru on Sirius Fantasy Channel. So invite everybody to check that out. They have a great app. It's you go to your iPhone or Android app store, download 102.1 The One, and you can listen live from anywhere and then hear archive stuff on there too. But good, strong signal. I mean, you can get it in Nixa, Ozark, Republic, down toward Aurora to Branson. And so for the gamblers, it might be something they want to check out there as well.
Scott, I assume you have Randy and I pretty high on your list to book us on there pretty quickly.
We will. Yes. We'll be talking, especially Fridays, when we're picking our games, our sure bets of the weekend. We'll definitely work you guys in. But I think there's some other opportunities there with the app and everything, because it does have a lot of gambling programming on the app. So people check that out. So some other things out there. I want to talk about college football, more firings. The latest one, Brian Kelly gets fired down at LSU. News comes out today that the governor of Louisiana says the LSU AD, Scott Woodward, will not be doing the hiring for the replacement. And part of that is tied in with, I guess, the AD was also the AD at Texas A&M when they signed Jimbo Fisher to that ridiculous extension, and then had to pay him $75 million, I think, to go away. I think Kelly got $53 million, maybe,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the same AD is responsible for about $125 million on the books in Texas and Louisiana for coaches hired extensions. But what do you guys think of governor interference in the process? I can see kind of both sides of it a little bit.
I mean, is he a big booster with the school, or is he just?
Well, no,
the state puts a lot of money in.
Yeah, it's a state university.
Right.
And you think about how, I mean, that is their state university, LSU,
Right.
how much money in tourism and all that dollars they generate when they're good. And so I can kind of see, but it just seems weird to see a governor step in and say he won't be hiring this time.
Right. That
I'd
is,
say that athletic director might be down at Hurley or Crane next year, maybe trying to
Yeah.
get a job.
Yeah.
who started, when did all these huge buyouts start? What did their agents get those? What schools started negotiating that? Why would that even be
I think it's been in all their contracts. It's just not
Has
been
it?
to this ridiculous level.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, it
bet that
started
comes to a
probably about
stop.
the time that we started paying coaches $10 and $12 million a year and more,
Right.
and then those coaches are like, well, I mean, if you want me to go away, it's going to cost you this. And I always laugh. I think of that scene in Moneyball with Brad Pitt when he's talking to David Justice, or the actor that's David Justice in Moneyball.
Right.
And Justice has got an attitude. He's, a veteran, been around forever. And he's taking attitude with Brad Pitt, the GM, and Billy Beane. And Billy Beane says, Dave, what the Yankees think of you? They're paying us money for you not to play for them.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening with these coaches. They're getting
Yeah.
paid to not be on the field with their teams anymore. But,
What
I
did
worry a
Barry
little
Henson
bit.
get when he left Missouri State?
What's that?
Did Barry Henson get anything when he?
I probably not. I
Yeah,
think
I
back then,
couldn't
and
remember.
it's such a smaller scale there, and even basketball. I
Yeah,
don't think
I
the
mean, I was just
basketball
curious.
buyouts are. And you think about it. I mean, if you're LSU, you've got a 100,000 seat stadium, and if you're not winning and you're drawing 70,000, how much revenue have you lost in those 30,000 empty seats?
Yeah,
But what I worry about is there are so many high profile jobs available. And we're only 2/3 of the way through the regular season. That are there going to be enough big name people to fill these jobs, or is it just going to be a rotation of the guys who just got fired here
yeah.
go there?
Yeah. Brian Kelly in Penn State. I read that the other day.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
and James Franklin that got fired at Penn State, maybe
yeah.
he winds up at Arkansas or Florida or somewhere like that. But speaking of Arkansas, Murph, you were down there Saturday. I didn't realize you were there until
Yeah.
I was basically on my way home. We were there for almost a half, and I said, to hell with this, I'm done, because it was we were outdoors. I don't know if you were indoors or outdoors.
Yeah, we were in a suite, so it was pretty sweet. But
Little different. Yeah, we were
yeah, it
in
was great.
ponchos in the rain, and we finally
Yeah.
went down to Dixon Street and watched the second half of the game. But watching the rest of that game Saturday, I'm just my main thought was has Bobby Petrino blown his opportunity to get that head coaching job?
Maybe the quarterback didn't help him any in that second
No.
half. Those were some horrible picks because I had Arkansas on the over, which people thought I was crazy because it was rainy and shitty weather down there, but it ended up going over. But Arkansas didn't do its part. But yeah, he may be in trouble. He needs to. That was going to be a big win for him.
Well, and I have never seen a team, and especially a quarterback, turn the ball over 4 times in one quarter. And Paylon Green threw 3 interceptions. And then they had a receiver fumble after a catch. 4 turnovers in a 15-minute quarter. That's hard to do.
It was terrible. I was sitting right in the corner as they were going away. They could see every pass he threw, and it was as soon as it left his hand, I was like, no. I mean, threw it right to these guys.
He is an immensely talented kid, long, lanky, but he holds onto the ball so long that he's either going to take a sack or the D-backs are going to bait him into what they did, and have him lock in on a receiver, which he did frequently in that too.
He did,
so I wonder, as the Bears are winning here with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, I wonder if Missouri State fans are relieved if Bobby doesn't get the job, because you wonder if his first call would be to his son-in-law, Ryan Beard, to come down and run their defense.
Right.
Thoughts?
Good possibility.
I hope so. I hope. Yeah. I mean, because how hard I don't know Ryan Beard. I'm sure you've talked to him, Scott. Is he dedicated? I mean, he's building a program, and I know the money and the coaching for an SEC school, even if your defensive coordinator is big and all, but I don't know. Missouri State needs to cough up more money and extend him, I guess. I don't know.
I think he's making around 5 now.
Is he?
They bumped him up because he was in that 350 range, I think, when they joined CUSA. But here's your dilemma. Stay a head coach. You're a first-time head coach. Keep building what you're doing in Conference USA, for $500,000, or go with your father-in-law and make maybe $1 million or $1.2 million and run an SEC defense.
Right.
And that would be tough. I don't, if he's I've heard from people that it's head coach or bust for him in terms of moving on. And the other part of that is, if Bobby Petrino did get the job, I'm not sure Arkansas wouldn't tell him, you've got to go hire a big name defensive coordinator. Cause I always forget his name. The guy was at Oklahoma State that Ohio State hired away. And he was the defensive coordinator when they won the national title last year. If you remember, Penn State hired him away this year and paid him $3.3 million to run the defense only. And of course, now he's going to be without a job because that whole Franklin staff is gone. So it'd be interesting to watch. I don't know if I saw something the other day that said Rhett Lashley, the SMU coach, who's an Arkansas, I think he's a Springdale native. He played at Arkansas. SMU was good last year, but we saw SMU come here and struggle against the Bears back in September. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Maybe it comes down to how much you like your father-in-law.
Yeah.
True.
Well, I think they're pretty tight, given that he gave him that opportunity, to do that and stuff. And I couldn't be more impressed with what Beard has done with a program that before he and his father-in-law got here was miserable.
Terrible.
The guy, the Steckel guy, he was a disaster. The one that came from Mizzou, that was a longtime defensive coordinator. And they dug out from that. That was rock bottom for the program, the Steckel era. And that program's rallied very well. So, Penn State, LSU, Florida, Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Florida State's probably going to open. Clemson may open. They may fire Dabo. A lot of people mentioned Eli Drinkowitz at Missouri as a candidate. You guys think he might leave and take one of those?
If he's going to leave, this would probably be a good time to do it, because I don't know if he can keep up what they've done.
Well, and we've talked about it. Their schedule in the SEC the last 2 years has been very favorable.
Yeah.
Right.
And that flips the next 2 years. So if you're Drinkowitz and that, you're right. It may be time to
go.
Yeah. And make more money. And then I wonder if Mizzou would pony up, because Mizzou is, they've done a really good job of buying into the NIL era and coughing up the money to be a player in it. I wonder if they would cough up the money to keep Drinkowitz.
They should. They're putting money in that stadium. So I would think they're
all those renovations and everything they're doing. You got to have people wanting to be there. And if you're not winning, they don't want to be there.
Come. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll keep an eye on that. Big college games this weekend. Kind of a light slate, not a lot of TV fun for us. Penn State is at Ohio State. Ohio State is a 20.5-point favorite over a Penn State team that I saw number one in the preseason polls with some of those. It was either Penn State or Texas, 1-2 in most of the polls. That's crazy. 20.5. And,
a lot of points.
Yeah. And Vandy's at Texas.
That'll be a good game.
Favorite. How about Texas? And I know Arch is in concussion protocol, but man, they had to score the final, 20, 21 or 28 points to beat Mississippi State. And the week before that, they win at Kentucky in overtime. What happened at Texas? If you're an OU fan, you're going, how did we not beat them when they were struggling as much as they are now? So, number 5, Georgia is a 7.5-point favorite at Florida. Dogs, you think the Dogs roll in that one?
I think they roll, but
yeah, they should.
Arkansas has Mississippi State coming in. The Hogs are a 4.5-point favorite. Third home game in a row in Fayetteville. Kind of curious, Murph, what the crowd looks like after the last two have not gone their way.
The weather better be nice.
Yeah, and I think it's supposed to be decent this weekend.
Yeah, it's supposed to warm up a little bit, I think.
Yeah. And then NFL for the weekend, Thursday night, the Ravens are 7.5-point favorites at the Dolphins. Lamar Jackson's back for the first time since, I believe, week 4. The hamstring is healed in his mind, and the Dolphins, I wonder if this is the week they finally fire
McDaniel.
Yeah. Although they went and embarrassed Atlanta.
Yeah, what happened to Atlanta? They looked great on the Monday night game, and then they just lay an egg. So
they are the most Jekyll and Hyde team, I think, in the league this year. That they are either really good. Oh, they beat Buffalo, didn't they?
Yeah, beat Buffalo. Knocked some survivors out. The Miami beating them, knocked some survivors out.
Hey, let's go back to Lamar Jackson for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, he's just hard to watch. Randy and I had some texts on a game back and forth. And I'm not saying he's not a great athlete, but it's just hard for me to watch him play quarterback because I think he does some things that are just really, really bad. Am I alone in that?
No, he's hard to watch as a passer. If he tucks the ball and starts going, and you're that other defense, you're like, oh crap, because the guy really ought to run it about 20 times a game if his body could hold up, because he's not a very good passer. Right. I mean, and Jalen Hurts is the same way. Hurts is better off if he just tucks it and goes. But I think the big knock on him still is, can he win a big game? I mean, late in the year, and I think the jury's still out on that. Sunday games, the Colts are 3.5-point favorites at the Steelers. I would say the Colts are the surprise NFL team so far. Would you agree?
Most definitely. They look solid though.
Yeah. We have Danny Handpay on here. They have Danny Pay Me on the Colts because he's going to need a lot of money to stick around there. I've heard they're working on an extension with him.
I bet they do.
Yeah. And then the Chiefs. How are the Chiefs a 2.5-point favorite at Buffalo? Explain that to me.
Buffalo lost. Who did they lose? Who's their defensive lineman? Torres Peck. What's his name? He went out last week. Maybe that's why their defense isn't.
Yeah, but Scott, remember, those lines actually mean nothing about the quality of the teams. The lines only mean how they know the bets are going to come in.
Yeah, and then
so right now Randy, don't you think?
Yeah, I would think so. I don't know. Buffalo at home, but the Chiefs have been on a roll, so they're just.
If that line is that wrong, I don't think that's what the line would be.
Yeah,
right.
I would take Buffalo and the points in that at home right now because I just think Josh Allen at home. Buffalo's pretty tired of the Chiefs at this point. Given
aren't we all?
Yeah, the past history there, and it's a Chiefs team that was 2-3 at the start, and just lost Pacheco for a little while for what that's worth, but he looked like he was starting to kind of put it together a little bit here.
Hey, Randy, how about right now? You and I double up on that dinner you owe me at
Red Oak. Okay, on Red what? Oak.
On the Buffalo Kansas City game. You take whichever side you want.
Oh God.
Yeah. You're gonna make him pick the Chiefs and have to root for the Chiefs.
You got 5 seconds.
I'll make a pick before we get off here. So if I lose, that's two Red Oak
that's
dinners.
Exactly what that means.
Woo. Okay. Give me Buffalo.
You're taking Buffalo on the points.
I'm taking Buffalo plus the 2.5 at home.
Buffalo plus 2.5. Okay.
Oh, I'm
go Chiefs.
Pissed. I'm gonna be pissed. Okay.
And then a couple other games, the TV games on the weekend. Seahawks are 3.5-point favorites at the Commanders on Sunday Night Football. The Commanders should have to opt out of any TV game that Jaden Daniels isn't playing in, because that was awful Monday night watching Marcus Mariota play quarterback. And then the Cardinals.
He's been terrible for my fantasy listener league because Jaden Daniels. Because, he's hurt. He missed 3 games.
Yeah.
So that's been one of my many problems on that.
Now, Danny Handpace started 8-0, if I remember correctly, and you're now 8-8. Is that correct?
8-8. Yes.
And
I need some inside cheater scandal information.
People listening to the one listener out there understand that we play a doubleheader each week. It's against an opponent and then against the median score for the league. So that's how Dan has lost. He's gone 0-2 4 consecutive weeks in that format.
Thanks for Thanks for that reminder.
Meanwhile, She-Murph is still leading the league.
Yeah.
We had her on here a couple weeks last time we had, and I'm sure that's going to make for a great Thanksgiving discussion. And then if she's still leading, then at that point,
I think we play. I think she said we play in 2 weeks. Will that be that? No, that'll be too early. But I think we play in 2 weeks. That'll be a big game.
I play her this week, and I'm sure she's probably going to destroy me. So,
she's got a good team.
Football, Yeah, Cardinals at the Cowboys. Cowboys are 2.5-point favorites on Monday Night Football. I think Kyler Murray may be back in that one.
I think he's back. Yeah.
Yeah. And then kind of from a fantasy standpoint, it was a day of mourning Sunday when Cam Scattaboo went down. A kid that's just fun to watch for the Giants, rookie out of Arizona State. I didn't see it, but I guess his foot was turned a different direction than the rest of his leg.
Looked like it was going to fall off. It was pretty bad.
Bad. And he was, beloved up there because he and Jackson Dart had kind of given a team that had really no hope, a lot of hope. I mean, if you get a healthy Scattaboo with Dart and then with Malik Neighbors back healthy next year,
it's a tough big three.
That'd be about 5 or 6 TV night games, I would think, worth there. The NBC and ESPN people would be all over that. So that made Tyrone Tracy Jr. the hot name on the waiver wire this week at running back. He'll be Cam's replacement. If you need a running back, I'm sure it's past waivers now when people are seeing this, but he was the one everybody was going after. And I came up with this since we're in week 9 of the NFL season and the fantasy, we're now at the halfway point of fantasy season with most leagues finishing after week 17. You could have had a perfect draft, and this is actually doable if you think about it. If you picked number 1 overall, if you had that first pick and you took Jamar Chase, who's getting about 20 to 22 targets a game now with Flacco, who may be out this week. But if you took Chase in round 1 and then on the swing back through took Jonathan Taylor, the Colts running back, and then took Jackson Smith and Jigba at the turn there with the 2-3 picks, then when it came back through again, you grab Mahomes because he would have been coming off the year Mahomes has had the last couple of years.
He could have been there.
Yeah. And then take Mahomes and Tyler Warren, the Colts rookie tight end, in rounds 4 and 5, and then finish that off with Egbuka, the rookie from Tampa, and then Javonte Williams, who you could have got 5 rounds later probably. You're probably winning your league if you had that kind of draft.
And I got Javonte in week 2 on the waiver wire.
On the waiver wire,
in my Sherm league.
And I think that's the appeal of fantasy football right there. Is it doesn't matter where you pick, and you may think you have all the knowledge in the world going into the draft, and then a guy like Jonathan Taylor, who lasts 20 to 24 picks, depending on the size of your league, averages 3 touchdowns a game on the ground for 3 or 4 weeks in a row now and stuff.
Yeah.
Too.
He's tearing it up.
Yeah, my appeal to fantasy was starting 8-0. My unappeal was going 0-8.
And it's like, though, when I talk to my son's hardcore into it, my oldest one, Marcus, when we talk about it, I say it doesn't matter what you're doing now, just get in. If you get into the playoffs and it becomes a one weekend thing, that's when weird stuff happens. So
how often does the best record win the Super Bowl in fantasy?
Not very often, I don't think.
Not very often. Yeah.
I'm in a league where I started 7-0 in a league where we only play 1 a week, and I'm scared to death. I peaked and I'm done. There.
Just run good late. That's all you got to do.
Well, so we're gonna let people go. We're gonna jump on and watch the end of the Bears game here. Fourth quarter's about to start. Bears still up a touchdown. What's the World Series situation? They got to be getting close, aren't they?
Ought to be close to being over. It's 2-1 last I saw. But
top of the 8th, Toronto 5-1 now.
Wow. So they'll be up 3-2 heading back for 2 at Toronto.
Yeah, and that place will be crazy. So
yeah.
Guys, thanks. We'll do it again next week.
Randy, go
Bills.
Chiefs.
Go Bills.
Everybody pay attention to what's going on in that one. It'll be fun to see
See you guys.
See you.
See you guys.